welcome once again to another edition of the Coach's Corner program. Demetrius Ross, head football coach, joins me. And Coach Ross, coming off a tough loss the week before against Pleasant.
Yeah.
Really nice win against a good Galion ball club last week.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a tough ball game, and but it was one that we learned from, just like we did against Mansfield Senior. When we get an opportunity to get some points on the board and to get things going, we have to learn how to start finishing games, how to get off to a fast start and how to finish. So I think that was a lesson from last week.
I know the Galion has the Donaldson kid who just the week before just exploded against River Valley.
Yeah.
And looking at the final numbers, you did a pretty good job of containing him.
Yeah, and that was our game plan. We understood if we were able to put our kids in the right position, that they would be able to execute and make the plays, and they did. They took the personal challenge and they stepped up to the plate and made sure that we weren't going to let one player beat us that week, I should say.
And you really kind of dominated that fourth quarter, and that was the difference in the ball game.
Yeah, and it's predicated to adjustments. You know, we were able to go in at halftime and take a look at what we saw, what was happening in the first half, and make the necessary adjustments so when we came out, we could put ourselves in position to win.
Got a very tough Shelby ball club. Pretty much everybody's going to look at this game and say, you're the underdog.
Yeah. Very, very tough game. You know, it's two teams are going to be facing each other, and we haven't seen a team like them so far this year. But at the same time, they haven't seen one like ours this year yet either. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to come down to who's able to execute and take advantage of the turnovers and as they happen, because this will be a game full of turnovers. When you pass that much on both sides of the ball, you know it's bound to happen. So.
We'll come back. We'll take a look at some of the highlights from the game last week against Galion. We'll do that right after these words. Once again, back on the Coach's Corner program, and Coach, this is the segment where we'll look at some of the highlights from the game the week before. Fortunately, a lot of highlights to take a look at.
Yes, absolutely.
Always nice to get those games at home. First play, Brad Pennington with a nice defensive stop.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's a monster in the middle. We love turning him loose as much as we can.
Brady Wink, who's just playing with so much confidence right now.
He's seeing the field well. I tell you what, he is, and he's running the ball very well, too.
And touchdown pass.
Our 50-50 ball. I mean, we like to put Wes in those situations where we trust him to come down with the ball, and he has every time.
Yeah, and Wes likes to be put in those situations.
Yeah, he does. Oh, Mr. Long Hair Don't Care. That's how I call him, Caden Hill. Great play by that kid.
We just talked about Wink and Stokes a moment ago. Here they are hooking up again.
Phenomenal athlete. That's awesome.
And you mentioned Brady doing, comfortable with the run.
Oh, yeah.
Something he's doing a lot more this year than he did last year.
Yeah, and a lot of those are by design. So it's a read. We put him in space and allow him to use his ability. Oh, yeah.
That offensive line doing a nice job.
Yeah, they are. They do a great job for us. And they do a great job covering from each other from time to time too, because we've been through some injuries, but we had some younger guys step up and find a way. And you see right there, Wink again just pulling the ball down and just getting after guys.
Well, once he got to about the 30, I think I could have scored without much room. and decided to go for the 2-point conversion here and hooked up with Kyrie Scott.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, he's a workhorse too, Mr. Scott, on both sides of the ball and in special teams. He's a great leader on and off the field. Big play on special teams. Love the way the guy. That's all effort and attitude. It's Mr. Marquise Adams. He's been so special for us on that phase of the game. Love turning him loose on special teams.
Here you get the quarterback sack.
Defense has been playing lights out. We're going to need a little bit more of that this week too when we're getting after this quarterback. So should be fun.
Couldn't see who got
the big block by Kobe Johnson.
Kobe.
The play before, he had an opportunity to do it, and he kind of pulled back a little bit, and we got on him a little bit about it, and he stepped up and delivered that time. So, and here's our quarterback just improvising again and keeping the drive alive. That was a big play by him to get that first down.
And to conclude the highlights, another long pass here to West Oaks, who not only came up with a tough grab, but gets those yards after reception.
Absolutely. Again, the 50-50 ball. We'll take that shot every time because he goes up and gets it. You know, Wink puts him in an opportunity to do so. So that's one of the plays that we'll go to quite often and to try and create a mismatch. And I'll put West against anybody in the MOAC.
You know, it's Wednesday afternoon as we're taping. It's just an awful day weather-wise.
Yeah.
What do you do practice-wise on a day like this?
Well, we have to learn how to play in it, so we're going to practice as if the sun was out and shining. We got to get used to the inclement weather. Got to be able to, and we're a passing team, so we got to be able to make sure we secure the football. We understand how to run routes when it's completely a pool of water out there, as well as protect the ball when we run it. So this will be a great day for us. Plus, we'll have a little fun after we get the work out of the way. It's always good to get out and run around and splash around and be silly when you get a chance when the weather permits. So we'll have a combination of getting after it, working hard today, and then having a little fun.
Does it seem hard to believe that we're getting ready for week 6?
Yeah, it goes fast. You know, from the time you kick off for the first time, and you know, if you slow yourself down and think about it, the season's already about half over. So it's hard to believe that we're entering into week 6, but you know, it doesn't surprise me at the same time because it's back to work after every game. We're right back at it. So.
Talk a little bit about a very good Shelby Ball Club that'll be coming in here Friday night.
Yeah, they have quarterbacks leading the league right now in passing, and the receivers, they have the top 2 on their team. Defensively, they're a little bit down this year compared to where they've been before, but still a very, very tough program. This is going to be a great test for us. This is the week that we have to put a complete ball game together. We have to minimize the mistakes that we've made before because against a team like Shelby, they have a quick strike offense. So they're able to capitalize. So we want to make sure we play a nice, sound, a disciplined game so that we don't put the odds against us and put ourselves in tough situations. So looking forward to it. We've had a great week of practice so far. We've executed at a high level. They're up for the challenge, very excited about competing with this team. I believe we haven't beat them yet since we've joined the conference and been with them. I don't think we've beat a Shelby team just yet. So it's a big deal to these guys to get after it and compete with them.
It's the first time for everything.
Absolutely.
All right, Coach, good luck on Friday night.
Thank you very much.
Kickoff at 7 o'clock.
Awesome, yep.
And I hope you can make it, again, kickoff 7 o'clock, Harding hosting Shelby. We'll be back with more on the Coach's Corner program right after these words.
The historic OK Cafe.
Pizza, calzones, subs, sandwiches, and more. Our fresh dough is made daily, topped with your favorite ingredients and made to order.
Stop in for our lunch buffet or check out our many daily specials.
Looking for something to do?
Come in and check out our giant projector screen on game days. Sing with friends on karaoke nights and dance the night away with live entertainment from your favorite local bands.
So even though Rex might have a short reach, we'll never come up short on service.
So remember, when you're hungry, check out the OK Cafe, home of the giant 20-inch Pizzasaurus Rex made to order. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Come to the historic OK Cafe, located at 734 East Center Street, Marion made for over 80 years.
Back once again on the Coach's Corner program, and it's not necessarily called the Football Coach's Corner. It's called the Coach's Corner program. We're going to talk boys soccer right now. Tyler Chambers is joining me. And Coach, let's talk a little bit about the soccer program for this year.
So the season this year is not what we expected going into the season. We're about 3-8, 3-9 right now. However, we have a lot of players out in the program right now. We have 30 players on the team. Probably the most in 10, 15 years for Marion Harding. So that's something we can build off of for the future. JV-wise, we have 8 players out of the 11 starting that have never played a game before. So we have a very young and experienced program right now. So we look to build off of this year and hopefully start contending for a championship next season and beyond.
You know, with that many guys, is it tough to kind of make the adjustments and work them into their necessary positions?
Oh, yeah. We're still looking to figure out. Some guys come into practice like, oh, your defense, and then in a game it's like, we should probably move you to offense. So it's a challenge to figure out. So those are some of the roadblocks we're working through right now.
Do you have a lot of seniors on the team, or is it a good mix of underclassmen?
It's kind of different where we have a large senior class, but then a large freshman class, and then kind of short on some sophomores and juniors. The seniors have put the work in the past couple of years. Unfortunately, some of the games just haven't gone our way. It's very Jekyll and Hyde. When we win, shut out, dominate, start to finish, it's awesome. When we lose in a spectacular fashion. So,
if you had to single out maybe one or two individuals, who have you been really pleased with this year?
We've been relying a lot on Jordan Hensley, Jr. You might know him from the football.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a rock star for us. And then we have 3 freshmen who are the heartbeat, Parker Iden, Jackson Shipley, and Logan Hartman. So it's great to have young guys, but when freshmen are your heartbeat, probably don't have a good overall body of health. So something to build off for the future for sure.
Offensively, are you more ahead of the game as far as offense or defense at this point?
I think our offense, when it clicks, it really clicks. Jordan Hensley and Jackson Shipley have a great duo. I mean, when it's on, it's on. Our defense is kind of spotty at times, but when they click, we're solid. All 3 wins have been shutouts. So when the defense clicks, it's going, but not very often.
You know, like football or basketball, pretty much every school has a program or a team. Soccer, I mean, you don't find that with all the schools in the area. So does that make it tough to schedule?
I think we have a great, Kearns does a great job of scheduling opponents that match up with our level of ability. And then recently we have 2 youth programs in Marion now. It used to always be one, CASA, now we have a team called Excel. So now we're seeing more and more youth leagues. Mansfield, they have like 30 guys out. Lima has like 30 guys out. So around the area, traditional football basketball powers are now switching over to soccer, it seems like.
Okay, interesting. Good luck the rest of the way. How many more weeks do you have in the season?
We're about 4 more weeks. Big one against Pleasant coming up. Always looking forward to that. You know, local rival, and the kids always get ready and hyped to battle the Spartans.
All right. Appreciate you kind of filling in on short notice.
Of course, anytime.
Good. Don't say that because we'll be calling on you probably next week or 2.
Awesome.
Very good. Appreciate you being on.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more on our Coach's Corner program right after these words. once again on the Coach's Corner program, and we're going to kind of revert back to football for a moment. And Scott Cameron joins me. And Scott, to kind of let our viewers know what you're doing on a Friday night.
Yeah, so we have, Todd Schneider calls the games, and Court Keplinger calls the games, and I would fill in on occasion. And so we've been kind of pitching this idea the last couple of years, like, what if we could have a sideline reporter? I mean, there's a lot of schools that will, run games on TV, YouTube, etc., but not very many schools have a sideline reporter. And so John Mullins knows how to make things happen, and so we were able to actually begin that casting this week, and so that was kind of fun, kind of unique. I know you and I have even done basketball games together over here at Harding, so it's just fun, and it's just kind of a neat opportunity. I think it's really neat to show what we're capable of doing as a telecom program here at Harding.
You can't do that unless you have the technology, and obviously you were able to work that out.
Yeah, again, I don't know how John Mullins does it, and sometimes we just don't kiss and tell, Jeff.
Okay. So about how often during the broadcast do they come to you?
We're still trying to work out some of the kinks with that. And last week we talked and we reflected upon how that all went, and some things that make it better with battery lives of some of our wireless technology and things of that nature. And so it's one of those things where we'd like for it to be, like we want to make it like real television telecast where, right before, ending of possessions or right after big plays, I could cut some information, or I'm also right down on the field so I can see things, hear things differently. So, for instance, last week there was a pretty big, obvious face mask call that was not made, and so there's little things like that where I'm also able to wear a headset and tell Corey and Todd something that I'm seeing or something I'm noticing down there, and then they can broadcast that through their speaking. So it's a pretty complicated thing, so we do have an earpiece we communicate through, and it's big time. It's big time,
I was
Jeff.
going to say, a work in progress, but it sounds like you're having a lot of fun with it.
It is.
At the high school level, that's what it's all about.
That's right, and it's great to see our kids, and not just playing football, but we have kids that work really hard in this telecom program, and I know John works really hard on it too, and it's just great to be able to volunteer in something like that in that capacity, and just kind of put our name out there, put Harding's name out there, and have like a positive spin about what we're able to do here.
Yeah, well, shows like this.
Absolutely right.
Prime example.
Absolutely.
Getting the Harding name out in front of the people.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, look forward to seeing you on Friday night then.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Very good. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Coach's Corner program. Again, I want to thank soccer and Coach Kimmel, of course, for being down on the field, and invite you to tune in again next week for another edition of our Coach's Corner program.